Baby sleep continued. I don't know about you, but when I thought of a baby, I didn't realize I'd have to teach them like day and night. I thought that came with the package. Eating and drinking and pooping, sleeping. Can babies have nightmares? How long has it been? 30 seconds? That's it? This is some tough shit. No way I just lay him down like this. Babe, look at this ad. They show the baby just like rocking itself to sleep. Could you even imagine? Babe? Babe? Sir, you're gonna have to put yourself to sleep because in 2 days, we're starting home ec. Sleeping through the night. What does that mean?
Sleeping through the night is what I consider to be sleeping a good solid 11 to 12 hours. And most babies are ready to actually do that somewhere between 6 months of age or once they've reached 15 pounds. Generally, the reason why parents reach out to me is because their baby isn't sleeping like they want them to. They're still waking up several times a night or taking really, really short naps. And usually the reason for that is because their baby or child relies on what I call a sleep prop. And a sleep prop is just basically anything external that a child has come to depend on in order to get to sleep. So what I generally find are sleep props is going to be feeding to sleep, whether that's the breast or the bottle, needing to be rocked or bounced, falling asleep on mom or dad, co-sleeping, anything like that. And the problem with relying on those sleep props to get to sleep is it also makes it a lot more challenging for your baby to fall back asleep. Because what happens is we all go through these multiple sleep cycles when we're sleeping. And for a baby, that's going to last somewhere generally between 30 and 45 minutes. And when we come out of one sleep cycle and go into the next, everybody comes to the surface of sleep. But as adults, we've had plenty of practice. We know how to get ourselves back to sleep without really even knowing that we've had those brief wakings. But with babies who rely on sleep props, when they come to that gap in their sleep cycle, they're going to more fully start to wake up and realize, hey, I don't have what I fell asleep with. So I'm not in mom's and dad's arms anymore. I'm not being fed. And they're going to more fully start to wake up and cry out for mom and dad to help come and assist them back into sleep. Because those are really just the only strategies that they've known up until this point. They basically need something from somebody in order to fall asleep. So really by breaking those old ways of sleeping and starting to introduce these new healthy independent sleep skills, that's how we help babies and children really consolidate that sleep and fall asleep much more peacefully, because they're not going to need anybody's help when they do come to those brief wakings in between sleep cycles. And the great thing about sleep training is even if you start with a 3-month-old baby who's not ready to sleep through the night, so they might still need 1 or 2 feedings throughout the night, you can still sleep train them to where they're going to be able to start falling asleep independently and just waking up that 1 or 2 times throughout the night, rather than maybe many more times than that parents are struggling with right now.
And I love the way you say that. So sleep training is really like helping them build that independence or that ability to soothe themselves to sleep.
Exactly.
Are there these cons that people are talking about?
The biggest reason why parents are concerned or hesitant to start sleep training is because of crying. And the good news is that you do not have to let your baby cry it out if that's something that you're not comfortable with. A lot of parents swear by that, and hey, if it works for you, more power to you, do it. But if you're not comfortable with that, there are so many other methods out there that are really gentle and can allow you to actually be present and comforting with your baby as they're learning those new healthy independent sleep skills. There's a few things that I do recommend getting though to help create that ideal sleep environment for a little one. A white noise machine to help to drown out environmental noises, blackout window covers to help make the room nice and dark, because that's just how we sleep best, is in a nice dark cool room. And then if your baby's still in a crib, I like to have them in sleep sacks too, because a sleep sack acts as a wearable blanket. We don't want anything in the crib with them, no levies or stuffed animals, any blankets, anything loose like that. So wearing a sleep sack is really going to allow your baby to sleep in that safest sleep environment as well.
How long does it take to be successful? incredible.
Babies are incredibly fast learners. Generally, if we do things right, the first 2 to 3 nights are going to be those longer, more challenging nights. But then come night 4, night 5, we're starting to see some really big improvements at bedtime. And then the nighttime wakings are really going to start to consolidate by the end of that first week. So when I work with babies, it's a 2-week program to really help make sure that we're establishing those great sleep skills within those 2 weeks.
The different methods that people can choose from, aside from the cry it out.
The 3 that I use a lot at Live, Love, Sleep. So the first one is what I call the pick up, put down method. And with this one, you can just, anytime that your baby starts crying, go over to them, pick them up, walk them around the room. As soon as they're calm, put them back down into the crib and just keep repeating that until they fall asleep. That method works really well with newborns. It doesn't work so well with babies who are older than 3 months of age. So if your baby's over 3 months of age, then I generally use 2 different sleep training techniques. The first one is what I call the stay in the room method. And that one is wonderful because it allows parents to be right there by their child's side, offering comfort and reassurance anytime that your little one's protesting that change. Sitting in a chair, and then you just slowly back that chair out of the bedroom over the span of about a week or so. And then the other method that I use is what I call the leave and check method, where parents put their baby down into the crib and then leave the room for a predetermined amount of time. If their baby's crying for longer than that period, then you go in, do some comfort, and leave again. And that can be a good method if your little one is overstimulated by having you in the bedroom, or if just being by your child's side and hearing that crying in person is just a little bit too challenging for parents. That leave and check can work really well.
You can find sleep even though COVID is happening.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And it's going to help you get through it much better.
Yes.
Really, the only time that I recommend waking up a baby is if the timing of that last nap might be bumping up against bedtime, or if they're just taking a really, really long nap. Usually 3 hours is what I would cap a nap at, just to make sure that we're not having any day and night confusion.
What's your overall advice for new parents?
Sleep is something that is absolutely achievable, and it's something that you can start working on from day one of bringing your little one home. There's so many things that we can do even with newborns by creating routines and starting to introduce these healthy sleep habits from the very beginning. Just know that because you decided to be a parent does not mean that you have to give up your sleep for the next 3-5 years to come. So I started my company, Live, Love, Sleep, about 5 years ago because my daughter wasn't sleeping, and I didn't want to let her cry it out. And when I learned that there was much gentler methods out there to sleep train my baby, I decided let's just give it a shot. And she was sleeping through the night within 2 nights, and our lives were changed forever. So I wanted to bring that gift of sleep to parents in Texas and around the world.